having access to that market will make a difference for Iowa soybean farmers, but we have to now make sure there's follow through.
Hello, and welcome to this edition of The State of Soy. I'm Michaela Jordan, reporting from Ankeny, where I'm joined today by Grant Kimberly, who serves as the Senior Director of Market Development for the Iowa Soybean Association, and we're talking everything trade, exports, and market demand. Grant, start us off by telling us what the Iowa Soybean Association does when it comes to market development.
Well, we work in a lot of different areas. So we cover things from domestic demand, and that includes working with our livestock sector to grow that market. We work with the biofuel industry. It's a big growth area we've all been hearing a lot about lately, and it's been a long-term process, taking a lot of focus over many, many years. And then we also work in new uses. Bio-based products, we provide the funding, the research to develop, and then help to commercialize these new products that provide opportunities for additional soybean demand. And that's the domestic side. Then you have the international side. And soybeans are very dependent on exports. We export about half of our soybean crop every year in the form of whole beans or soybean meal. And so we work a lot to develop new markets, to build these relationships, to work with our key customers overseas.
Right now, exports have really been in the news with everything going on with China and then some other developments in other countries. What specific items has your team been focusing on related to exports?
For several years, and even before the last trade war that we had with the disagreements with China, we've been trying to work very hard to build new markets overseas in various different countries around the world. Markets that value the quality differentiation that U.S. soybeans and Iowa soybeans have over our major competitors in South America. And there is a quality difference, mind you. So those are the key aspects that we are working hard to provide the data and the information to highlight to those key customers. And Egypt is one of those. Also, we've seen growth in places like Colombia here, markets in our backyard, so to speak, Central America. And then we see other market growth opportunities in Southeast Asia, places like the Philippines, who have been a very, very strong market for U.S. soybean meal. And they will actually pay a premium for U.S. soybean meal because they value the quality differentiation and the value that U.S. soybean meal provides. And of course, Mexico is always going to be one of our strongest markets. And that market here at home, we're continuing to work in and develop.
While a lot of those smaller markets have seen a lot of growth throughout the past couple of years, one market that still kind of remains at the top of everybody's radar is China. What is currently happening on the China front, and what's your opinion on it?
The China situation is a challenging one. We saw a reduction in our exports that started in last year's old crop marketing season because of the tariffs and counter tariffs and retaliatory tariffs that went back and forth between the U.S. and China. China did not purchase any new crop soybeans until just recently here. But how much they purchased, we don't know for sure, because the U.S. government, as of the time that we're talking here at this point, has not been reopened, so we don't have all the data from the export sales reports that typically come in. We do think that China is now starting to buy some soybeans again because of the most recent negotiations and conversations between President Trump and President Xi Jinping in South Korea that happened here recently. And so that's positive, and in the sense that they did come out of that meeting with some goals of China purchasing 12 million metric tons, or about 440 million bushels of soybeans, and then also committing to purchase 25 million metric tons of soybeans over the course of the next 3 years annually. But of course, we have to see follow through on that. And there's a caveat in that: it has to be market competitive. And so we need to see where that goes, and we also need to make sure that all the different retaliatory tariffs are dropped or waived, and we don't know the status of that as of now. So we're going to have to wait and see. But ultimately, what this means to Iowa soybean farmers is access to the world's largest market, and that will help bring some stability to the marketplace, increase our overall demand, and that should be reflected eventually somewhat, at least in prices. We'll have to see how that all shakes out. But if you have access to the world's largest market, and China purchases 100 million metric tons or more of soybeans per year. And as I said, that's 50% to 60%, somewhere in that range, of the global soybean trade when it comes to exports. So having access to that market will make a difference for Iowa soybean farmers, but we have to now make sure there's follow through.
Final question for you, Grant. What role does a soybean checkoff play in increasing this market demand and finding new uses and new markets for soybeans?
The soybean checkoff plays a critical role, and it provides the research, the market development, the promotion, all that foundational work that goes into creating these new markets. If you look at it since the National Soybean Checkoff started in 1991, there's been no other commodities demand picture that has grown faster than soybeans. So we've definitely seen a major impact of the soybean checkoff to the soybean industry. Every industry needs to do research, it needs to do promotion, it needs to do market development. And those are things that we as individual farmers, I'm a farmer as well, we can't do those things individually by ourselves, but collectively through our associations and the soybean checkoff, those are things that our board of directors, that our farmers that are elected by their peers will make those decisions, and we can move the needle forward in hoping to create additional demand for soy. And the proof is in the pudding. We've seen major increases over the last several decades. We have a lot further to go, and we're going to continue to work on those areas, but that's what the soybean checkoff ultimately does.
The Iowa Soybean Association and the Soybean Checkoff are hard at work at ensuring farmers still have access to critical soybean markets, whether that's expanding other countries to purchase U.S. soy or working on the Chinese front to ensure America has markets in that sector. Grant, thank you for your time today and all you do for Iowa's farmers.
Thank you.
Reporting for this edition of The State of Soy, I'm Michaela Jordan.
You know, everything starts with the land. We really respect farmers.
There's nothing that we cannot help a client with. The brokerage, the management, the appraisal, and the investment are four pillars that really go so well together.
We work with a lot of really great people working incredibly hard to provide for their families, their community, and the country.